to make new products. Here you see this beautiful furniture made out of wood, taken out of old buildings.
Riprendono tutto questo materiale che altrimenti sarebbe stato buttato via per costruire cose nuove, oggetti nuovi.
Now you can also have some fun with this reuse.
Potete anche avere un po' di divertimento da questo riutilizzo.
In Gothenburg, Sweden, they have a reuse park. And when you go to this park, there's a band playing. When you go in, there's a band playing.
In Svezia c'è questo parco.
And when you go around, there are clowns to entertain the children.
Pieno di clown, pagliacci per intrattenere i bambini.
And when you go to the toilet, it's an art gallery. There we go.
Come una galleria d'arte.
And this is my favorite. This is the famous separating dog. This dog can separate multi-materiali into 6 different
È
categories.
capace di separare il materiale in 6 diverse parti.
Okay, so those are the first 5 steps.
I primi 5 passi.
And how much can we get from those first? Well, how much raccolta differenziata can we get from those first 5 steps?
Quanta raccolta differenziata possiamo ottenere da questi primi 5 passi?
In San Francisco, they went from 50% raccolta differenziata in 2000. They are up to 80%.
A San Francisco sono passati dal 50% nel 2000 all'80%.
And their goal for 2020
E
is
sono molto vicini al
zero waste. Now, if San Francisco can do that, why can't Naples do that?
Se lo può fare San Francisco, perché non lo può fare anche Napoli?
Maybe the Comore?
Per la mia mondo.
I know the mayor wants to do this, Jim Magisteris, and Tommaso they want to do it. Yeah. Anyway, steps 6 through 9 is now trying to minimize the frazioni residual.
Il passo dal 6 al 9 riguardano il tentativo di minimizzare, rendere al minimo
Frazioni residual.
le frazioni residue.
So step 6 is economic incentives. And one of these economic incentives is the pay by bag system. And in this system, the compostables gratis, recyclables gratis. But the frazioni residua, the more you make, the more you have
Le
to.
frazioni residue, più ne produciamo e più dovremmo pagare, perché sono quelle più difficili poi da smaltire.
And the results are dramatic. In this one community in Piemonte, they went from 70% raccolta differenziata to 85% in just a few months with this system.
Con questo sistema in questo paese sono passati dal 70 all'85%.
Now it can be very simple. In Capanari, they have a microchip in the bag, and when you put it out, you pay, but if you don't put it out, you don't pay. So you can go several weeks without making much residual waste, you're not paying for it.
In questo paese hanno messo dei chip, dei microchip dei contenitori, per cui si sa, più si produce spazzatura residua e più si paga.
Notice the graphics here. You know, how do you make this interesting for the cittadini? How do you communicate the need to reduce our waste?
Comunicare alle persone come ridurre la loro
Step 7 is other waste reduction initiatives. And some examples. In Ireland, the government put a 15-cent tax on the plastic bags in shopping malls, and in 1 year, the use of those bags went down 92%. Again, economic.
Mettendo una tassa sui sacchi di plastica, la vendita praticamente dei sacchi di plastica è sceso del 90%.
Last October, California passed a new law which says completely banning single-use plastic bags.
In In California una legge ha bandito completamente l'uso di singole buste di plastica.
In Italy, you have some supermarkets which allow you to refill your own bottles.
In Italia abbiamo dei supermercati che ci permettono di riempire le...
Yeah. But in this store here, Etiqueta, it's even better than that. They have 60 taps, 60 different taps which allow you to refill your own bottle with detergent, with shampoo, with acqua, miele, latte, many bieri.
Quindi campi diversi per chiudere ogni tipo di contenitore diverso, bottiglie diverse.
And olive oil.
Oliva e latte.
And my favorite, so you get your glass over here. And you first, nice, and then you second, very nice, and then you third. My favorite place in the whole of Italy. I love Vino Rosso. Now, minimizing waste. This is Rossano Ercolini's primary school, and his children do not use plastic. They have no plastic. They use china, stainless steel, and glass, and they don't use bottled water. They use tap water. So these are zero waste children, and here's a zero waste baby with reusable pannolini. Eco bin. So we've got to step 8. Now step 8. If we get to 80%, we're doing very, very well, and we can do that before we get to this step. But if we want to get close to zero, then we need to do this.
Se vogliamo avvicinarci alla produzione zero di spazzatura, abbiamo bisogno di fare questo.
And they started this in Nova Scotia, in Canada. They built a facility to separate the recyclables.
In
Nova Scotia.
In Nova Scotia hanno costruito un luogo dove c'è questa separazione totale.
And these facilities are built davanti di scarico, so that no waste can go into the landfill. It must go through the separation.
Questo luogo è stato costruito proprio vicino, davanti a una discarica, quindi non c'è un grosso spostamento della spazzatura.
So outside Halifax, Nova Scotia, here's the landfill, and you see the residual separation facility in front of the landfill, but the truck, see the road goes into the facility, the road does not go into the landfill. This is important for the Camorra.
Questa è la discarica e quello è il luogo invece dove viene lavorato tutto il compostaggio, quindi vedete sono vicinissimi, non c'è un grande percorso, non va per i campi.
It's going to be more difficult for them to put hazardous waste into that landfill, especially if you have guards and video cameras around it.
È difficile per la Camorra riuscire a mettere cose in modo illegale, soprattutto se ci sono telecamere e guardiani.
So here's a close-up of the facility. When the bags come in, they're opened carefully.
Quando queste grandi ballerine vengono aperte attentamente.
The materials go on long conveyor belts.
Il materiale cammina su quei bulli.
And more recyclables are pulled out, more toxics are pulled out, and the frazione organica sporca is not touched. That goes all the way to the end of the conveyor belt.
La frazione organica camminando là sopra non viene nemmeno toccata.
And then that material is shredded and goes into long concrete troughs. Machines turn this material and it is composted in these troughs. So this is the material I'm composting here.
Questo è tutto il materiale quindi che passa là e viene buttato poi in questi grossi macchinari che crea il compost.
Now, this composting is not to produce a product to sell because it's dirty, sporky, but to stabilize it above ground before it causes problems.
Quindi viene stabilizzato prima che possa creare problemi sul terreno, che possa contaminare il terreno.
And the second part of this step 8 is a zero waste research center, which we would like to build inside these facilities to study the non-recyclable fraction.
All'interno di queste piccole industrie, chiamiamole industrie, bisogna poi differenziare i prodotti non riciclabili.
So here's the difference between zero waste, a big difference.
Questa è la differenza del zero waste.
From landfills, discarica e inceneritori. The landfills and inceneritori try to make the residuals disappear. Go on, you can't see it.
L'inceneritore ha quello scopo di far sparire la parte non riciclabile, diciamo.
But we, zero waste, we want to make the residual fraction molto visibile, because these are our mistakes, these are our design mistakes. The non-recyclable material. See, therefore we need to use our local universities and technical colleges to study these bad designs.
Per questo c'è bisogno del sostegno
And
delle università.
And the country doing pioneering work on this is Italy again. In Capanari, in 2010, they opened up a small zero waste research center. Here you see Rossano Ercolini going through the frazioni residua, Patricia Lasciotto doing the same.
I nomi di queste persone che stanno studiando questo sistema.
I understand. I think you've been sitting a long time today. You've been very patient. I haven't got much more to do. But the object then is to analyze what is in the residual fraction and then change our behavior to reduce it. So the number one item there is textiles and leather. And the result is that Capanari is now collecting that material separately. And the second item there is panolini, and that resulted in the design by a local company of reusable panolini. So the message here is that this facility is where community responsibility and industrial responsibility come face to face.
Questi luoghi di riciclaggio devono venire fuori dalla cooperazione della comunità e dell'industria.
So the central message of zero waste is for the community to say to industry, if we can't reuse it, if we can't recycle it, or we can't compost it, then industry should be making it.
Il messaggio principale è: se non possiamo riutilizzarlo, se non possiamo riciclarlo o non possiamo compostarlo, allora le industrie non dovrebbero produrlo.
So we need better industrial design.
Quindi abbiamo bisogno di una migliore
reusable panolini. And one of the things that they found a lot of in the residual fraction were these one-serving coffee capsules, 1 cup of coffee per capsule. From Lavazza. And what they then did, they wrote this long letter to Lavazza and said, we are a zero waste community, but we keep finding your plastic capsules in our waste. What are you going to do about it? Well, Lavazza, within 2 days, phoned Rossano up, arranged for a meeting, and last month, Lavazza has now marketing a reusable coffee capsule.
Okay. La Lavazza, per esempio, che produceva tante tazze, è stata, diciamo, ripresa praticamente, e ora stanno studiando l'hanno già fatto veramente, hanno realizzato delle tazze riutilizzabili. Capsule.
So now it's time to talk about the fourth R. I'm sure you've all heard of the first 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. But the fourth R is redesign. So zero waste is a combination of community responsibility, reduce, reuse, recycle, and compost, and industrial responsibility, redesign. So that's zero waste in one slide. So step 9 is better industrial design. Step 10, we've already talked about, is the landfill. Here are all the 10 steps together. What I like about this is it starts with everybody with these 10 things, but by the time we get down to steps 8 and 9, we're bringing in the brightest minds in our society. Our professori, our studenti, our industrial designers. You have the best industrial designers in the world in Italy.
Abbiamo la migliore industria di design in Italia, quindi dovremmo concentrarci su questo.
And we need the best communicators, the best artists, the best musicians. Yes, we need them. We need them. Yes. Okay. And this research can take place here and here. We can research the bad packaging here. We can research the bad products here.
Dobbiamo ricercare i prodotti migliori e gli imballaggi anche naturalmente.
And the reason we need our brightest minds involved in zero waste is we need them more in sustainability. This is the biggest challenge we've ever had.
È avere le migliori menti.
For hundreds of years, we've run this linear society, this throwaway society. Now we're having to change that. It's going to be enormously difficult. And the thought that we're going to try to do that without using our professors and students, to me, is impossible. We have to use our professori and students.
Dobbiamo usare queste menti per migliorare, per disegnare, per progettare.
And there's many ways that we can link zero waste with other aspects of sustainability. Obviously, you can link zero waste to sustainable agriculture through compost, organic agriculture, and so on. So, how close have we got to zero waste in Italy?
Siamo arrivati vicino a questa produzione zero in Italia.
In Italy, we have over 1,000 communities getting more than 70%.
1000 comunità che hanno raggiunto più del 70%.
Around 300 getting 80%.
300 sono arrivati all'80%.
And a few over 90%.
Più del 90%.
And they're reaching these very quickly. Salerno, you went from 18% to 72% in just 2 years.
Solo in 2 anni Salerno è passato dal 18% al 72%.
Don't tell me this is a cultural problem in Italy.
Quindi non è un problema di cultura.
If you can get 72% in Salerno and very little in Naples,
Se siamo arrivati al 72% a Salerno e molto poco a Napoli,
this is not a cultural problem.
non è un problema di cultura.
It's a political leadership problem, which in the case of Naples, unfortunately, we have the leaders, but it's compounded with the Camorra. So Italy, there's a new way of measuring our success here. Instead of measuring in percentage, we're now measuring it in kilograms of residuals per person per year. And we have hundreds of municipalities in Italy, less than 100 kilograms per year.
Centinaia di comuni in Italia che producono meno di 100 grammi di spazzatura residua a persona all'anno.
And the lowest is down to 20 kilograms per person. So this is we're getting
punto più basso.
very close to zero waste.
Molto vicina allo zero waste.
So Campari was the first town in Italy to declare zero waste. Here we are celebrating. This is me, this is the mayor, Giorgio, this is Rossano.
Di questa città dove si è raggiunta una zero waste.
And now over, actually 225 communities in Italy
200
declared.
comunità hanno dichiarato la loro strategia per raggiungere la zero waste.
We come to the end, the summary.
Stiamo finendo.
Zero waste is better for our economy, better for the economy.
Meglio per la nostra economia,
More jobs,
ci
more
sono più
business.
lavori, più aziende, più opportunità.
It's better for our health,
È meglio per la nostra salute,
less toxics.
è meno tossico, meno tossicità, meno materia tossica.
It's better for our universities,
Meglio per le nostre università,
more meaning, more relevance.
più importante, più significato, più rilevanza.
It's better for our
È meglio
planet,
per il pianeta,
it's more sustainable,
sostenibile.
and it's better for our
È
children
meglio per i nostri bambini,
because it offers them more hope for the
perché gli dà
future.
più speranza.
And it's also, I think, better for the albatross.
È anche meglio per gli albatros.
Fewer of these and more
Meno questo,
of these.
più queste immagini.
Grazie.